Let's get the show started, man. We late, but I had some runs to make earlier. Had a lot of things to do, man. So it took me a minute to get here. Man, you gotta, you know, I got a life outside of YouTube, man. So sometimes, the schedule will be a little bit. We'll get behind a little bit sometime. But anyway, man, where you guys at, man? Let's have this show. Now, this guy right here is like what a complete joke. Shout out to my people for tapping in. Like, what a complete joke. Now, I want y'all to hear some of the ridiculous things he said, and I'm going to show you how full of it he really is. These people say anything. Now, he accused me of being racist towards Mexicans, right? This is the same guy who said he was going to march and protest against our reparations, but he claims that he's not racist. Now, why would you put all that energy into stopping our reparations when our reparations ain't got nothing to do with Mexicans? Ain't got nothing to do with these people. The raza needs to march, heavy protests. You said that, and you got the nerve to call me a racist. Now, check this out. He accused me of calling Mexicans, you know what I mean, certain words, man. And we're going to let the 5-minute mark play before we get into some of these things because we don't want no problems with the monetization. Now, how could somebody who's willing to march against our protest, who's willing to march against our reparations, call somebody racist? See, it's one thing if you disagree with us getting reparations, but you saying that you guys are going to march against our reparations, now that's a whole nother level of racism right there. You ain't never seen black people, let's march against reparations. And he said if we got reparations, that would ruin America's economy because they would have to give us money. But this same guy, he ain't got a problem with millions of illegals crossing the border. And he wants us to believe that these illegals are just so beneficial for our system. Like they're so beneficial for our economy. This is how you know he's full of crap. Because if you was worried about the economy crashing, then surely you would have a problem with millions of illegals crossing the border. But he ain't got a problem with millions of illegals crossing the border because that's his people. So he ain't got a problem with that. He said it himself. He said if foundational Black Americans got reparations, that would crash our economy in this country. The raza needs to march in heavy protest so that blacks can get reparations. That's what he said. The raza needs to get out there and march. I'm talking heavy protests. Like what? You hate black people so much that you're gonna get out there and march, and you're gonna rally up the raza to get out there and protest to stop our reparations? But you're gonna call me a racist? This is crazy. This is insane. I need y'all to bless the like button, man. We finna dive right into this, man. As soon as we hit the 5-minute mark, we're gonna dive right into this. Yeah. You got millions of illegals from this country crossing the border every single day. But he claims that has no effect on the economy. Sonny said illegals coming over here by the millions benefit this economy, benefits us. How? So millions of illegals benefit us? How is that even possible? We got all these undocumented people coming over here, and he ain't got a problem with that, but he got a problem with our reparations. Somehow, millions of illegal immigrants is beneficial to our economy, according to Sonny. I'm gonna show you the video where he said that. The raza needs to march, heavy protest. I'm gonna show you. Matter of fact, let me cue it up right now. I'm gonna cue it up right now. talking about they gonna march in heavy protest. Yeah, watch this. American Cholo on reparations. You're gonna see it. I'm gonna show you. Now I played this video several times, but I'm gonna play it again because I want y'all to see it. No, this is what I'm gonna do. Let's get it right now. And I'm gonna come right back to this video. Now I'm gonna show you. And then, Lucky from Hood Stocks apologize, man. Should we accept that apology? Now I want you to hear this fool talking about marching against our reparations, right? And then I'm gonna show you the video.
Young Raza or Raza who want to believe that, you better turn your TV, brother. You better turn your radio back.
So what do you think about these Black Lives Matter that they want to be paid for being what is it, slaves and all
reparations?
That? Yeah, there.
Are you talking about? Well, I heard they passed in North Carolina.
Yes.
But it was
What?
It was a small little town in North Carolina that passed reparations for whoever's over there.
And you see this fool? They're gonna get reparations. What? Mexicans benefit off of our civil rights. They benefit from the 14th Amendment that we fought for. They make money off of hip hop, but they got a problem with us getting reparations. The dude on the left said, what? They're going to get reparations. What? Now I want you to hear Sonny. I'm going to take it back from the beginning, and I'm quiet. I ain't going to give no commentary on it. I want you guys to hear every word.
And to those young Raza or Raza who want to believe that, you better turn your TV, brother. You better turn your radio back.
So what do you think about these Black Lives Matter that they want to be paid for being what is it, slaves and all
reparations?
That? Yeah, there.
Are you talking about? Well, I heard they passed in North Carolina.
Yes.
But it was
What?
It was a small little town in North Carolina that passed reparations for whoever's over there. I'm sure they'll try to do something out here in California. I think they already actually got a little board going that they're going to start looking into it. So
yeah, and that's what we, the Raza, need to step up, protest, and I'm talking major, and turn around and tell them, no, nobody getting reparations until the Native Americans and the Mexicans get ours first. Major, and turn around. Yeah, and that's what we, the Raza, need to step up, protest, and I'm talking major, and turn around and tell them, no, nobody getting reparations. Major, and turn around and tell them, no, nobody getting reparations. Tell them, no, major, and turn around and tell them, no, turn around and tell them, no, nobody getting reparations, and turn around and tell them, no, nobody getting reparations until the Native Americans and the Mexicans get ours first.
listen, brother,
We've been going through this crap a lot longer, so I don't want to hear it. Because it's not fair, dog. How are you going to give a bunch of money to a specific group, dog? This is the United States, a melting pot. How are you going to give it to a specific group?
Because right now they've got the white people with so much guilt. It was your parents.
Yeah.
And it goes back to this. That would be like me going back and talking about, hey, fool, you busted on my homie. You told me, hey, but then
No, that wouldn't even be like that. That's not even close.
Why?
It'd be like, hey, fool, your great-great-great-grand, your great-great-great fool. Be like, hey, fool, your be like, hey, fool, your great-great-great-grandfather busted on my great-great-great-grandmother.
But that's what I'm getting at with that. Our stuff with our war wasn't that long ago. So if they can bring something up from 200 years ago, shit, this should be worse. In other words, this should be.
Y'all know what it is.
Shout out to the LA rapper, man. He been doing a lot, man. Talking about this, man. So it is what it is. Now let's get into this other video right here where he said, I'm a racist. You know what he said?
Saludos, buenos días.
He said border hopping is racist, right? He said that me saying border hoppers is racist. They are border hoppers. Illegal immigrants from Mexico are border hoppers. That's not racist. That is an accurate and true statement. But I've never used the word wetback. You never heard me say that. You never heard me call Mexicans beans or anything like that. I never said it. So he had to move the goalposts. He said, well, calling my people border hoppers is racist. No, it's not racist, because that's exactly what it is. They are border hoppers. They are hopping the border. They're crossing the border. By definition, that's exactly what they're doing. That is not a racist statement. Oh, well, he probably didn't call us WBs and beans, but calling us border hoppers is the same thing. No, it's not. Border hopping is an action. Calling somebody a wetback is an insult. When you cross the border illegally, when you hop the border illegally, by definition, that is a border hopper. That is not racist. That is an accurate and true statement. By definition, that's exactly what it is.
Yes, everybody, how you doing? So last night I made a video. I think it was intervention from a higher source, right? And it was in regards to one of those black podcasters that continuously disrespect the raza. Because he had made a video and he said that I lied on his name, that he never called us a beaner or wetback. But he called us border hoppers. Yeah, that's better, huh?
That's an accurate and true statement, because by definition, you are hopping the border. It's not a racist statement. That's a clear description of what you guys are doing. By definition, illegal immigrants are border hoppers. It's not a racial slur. That is an action. But I don't expect for this guy to understand it, because he's not too intelligent, trying to say that I'm not too intelligent. I'm judging it based on an action. Border hopping is an action. It's not a racial slur, Sonny.
Black podcasters that continuously disrespect the raza. Because he had made a video and he said that I lied on his name, that he never called us a beaner or wetback. But he called us border hoppers. Yeah, that's better, huh? Yeah, apparently he called us border hoppers. And he said I lied on his name, and that billions of illegal immigrants from Mexico flood the United States, and his tax dollars pay for us all to eat, right? No, we already know how it works. It's been very clear. Illegal aliens, immigrants, put into billions of dollars into the system when they never collect, like Social Security, right? And the little bit they do put out isn't even close to what they put in, right? Another thing, we all know as a raza that border brother, or not a border brother, but border hopper, wetback, beaner, they're all the same thing. They're all racially generated, right?
Nah, calling you a border hopper is not racially generated. I'm judging you based on an action. Crossing the border illegally is border hopping. That is not a racial slur. Get it right, Sonny.
And then he talks about me talking about reparation, or not a border brother, but border hopper, wetback, beaner, they're all the same thing. They're all racially generated, right?
See, he couldn't prove that I called Mexicans a racial slur, so he had to move the goalpost by saying calling us border hoppers is the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. See, I know you got to move the goalpost because you lied. You can't find one video of me using racial slurs against your people. But yes, I did say that illegal immigrants are border hoppers, because by definition, that's exactly what they're doing. This fool tried to move the goalpost. Well, I can't prove that he called us a racial slur, so I'm going to make it seem like calling us border hoppers is the same thing as a racial slur. Man, please stop it.
And then beaner, they're all the same thing. They're all racially generated, right? This is, and then he talks about me talking about reparations, right? Trying to make it seem as if I'm running from it. I'm very clear. I don't believe anybody should be getting reparations, period. No group. If we were to give out reparations, that would.
But you built the border illegally by the millions. Help our economy, allowing millions of illegals to come into our country. I guess it's all gravy because those are your people. Now, I want you to hear what he had to say. He said that Mexicans cross border illegally by the millions. That's cool. Somehow that builds our economy. But if foundational Black Americans got reparations, somehow that would destroy the economy in this country. I want y'all to hear what this fool said.
Reparations, right? They're all racially generated, right? This is, and then he talks about me talking about reparations, right? I'm very clear. I don't believe anybody should be getting reparations, period. No group. If we were to give out reparations, that would collapse the economy in the United States. But I understand he's not too smart. He can't see past the little money grabs he does. See, he's one of those individuals that like to take credit for his ancestors, or not, maybe none of his ancestors. Someone with same pigmentation in their skin, likes to take credit for their success, their inventions.
So giving money to millions of illegal immigrants, that would destroy the. Do you know that slavery built America's economy? The free labor that blacks gave this country is what made America a powerhouse. But see, I don't expect for you uneducated people to know that. And maybe you do know it, you're just in denial. The free labor that foundational Black Americans gave this country is what built the wealth of this country. That is how America, the United States of America, that is how the United States of America became a superhouse, because of all of the free labor that they got from us. So if you take away the free labor that they got from us, the United States is not a superhouse. Look at the United States prior to foundational Black Americans doing all this free labor. Then look at the wealth that the United States of America had after we gave this country two and a half, I'll say 3 centuries of free labor, because guess what? Jim Crow lasted 100 years, 1865 to 1965. So even when slavery was abolished, we were still slaves working under Jim Crow laws. The free labor that foundational Black Americans gave this country, that is what built this country's wealth. Now, how you love that? But it's all good for millions of illegal immigrants to come over here, and we got to spend our money. Our tax dollars takes care of these people. Give them housing, give them medical, dental. Their children can't even speak English. So we got to hire substitute teachers to teach them English. All of that stuff comes out of our pocket. So it's cool for us to spend billions on illegals, but we can't give reparations to the people who built this country. Man, please.
Ancestors. But I understand he's not too smart. He can't see past the little money grabs he does. See, he's one of those individuals that like to take credit for his ancestors, or not, maybe none of his ancestors. Someone with same pigmentation in their skin, he likes to take credit for their success, their inventions, and
yes, a Black man created the traffic light, right? That comes from my people. The gas mask, you know, the gas mask that we use, Black man created that gas mask. The first open heart surgery, a Black man did that. The first blood transfusion, a Black man did that. All of this music that you listen to, Black people created that. See, it's not my fault that you're jealous and you're envious and you ain't nothing but a hater. Now, why don't you name something that your people created in this country? to move this place forward. Name something that Mexican Americans have created in this country. And that ain't me putting them down, but I want to ask you a serious question. And the list goes on. I only gave you a few things that we did. There's a whole lot more that we did. Now, people like Sonny claim to be a descendant of the Aztecs, and we all know that, Sonny, you're no Aztec. The Mexicans today are half European. You're half European and you got native blood in you, like half native and half European. And some of you guys have more European blood than native blood. The Aztecs didn't have European Spanish blood. Let me repeat that. The Aztecs did not have Spanish European blood in them. Those were different people. So you can't call yourself a descendant of an Aztec if you're 50% European, Spanish.
In their skin. He likes to take credit for their success, their invention. See, he's one of those individuals that like to take credit for his ancestors, or not, maybe not of his ancestors. Someone with same pigmentation in their skin. He likes to take credit for their success, their inventions, but he's never done anything himself. He's not educated. You can clearly tell by the way he talks. We're not even close to $1 billion in Mexico. We're talking like 130 million tops.
The city of Chicago spent $1 billion on illegals in 2023 and in 2024. New York City spent over $1 billion on illegals. California spent over $1 billion on undocumented illegal immigrants. Why don't you do your homework, Sonny? The state of California has spent billions on illegal immigrants in 1 year. That money comes out of our taxes. Our tax money goes to that crap.
But again, what do you expect from a person like this dude, right? Like I said, he's disrespect. When he talked about me talking about reparations, he used a tone in his voice to mimic me as if I'm a typical voice that somebody would do to mock Raza talking with an accent. Just an idiot. Just an idiot. So I was gonna put the video up and it didn't work last night. So
how you gonna call me racist when you told your people they need to march against our reparations? Heavy protests. You're so jealous of black people that you would march against our reparations. When you guys have civil rights because of who? Because of who? Because of us. My people was on the front line fighting for civil rights, getting dog sick on them, so that minorities and all people of color could have civil rights in this country. My people fought for that. My people was unalive for that. My people got thrown in jail for that. Not yours. Foundational Black Americans fought for the civil rights that all minorities and all people of color enjoy today in this country. Thank you.
a typical voice that somebody would do to mock Raza talking with an accent. Just an idiot. Just an idiot. So I was gonna put the video up and it didn't work last night. So I'm glad it didn't. I think there was a intervention from a higher
FBA people. I named a few things that we invented. Why don't you guys name some other things that foundational Black Americans invented in this country? We created a lot of stuff that we don't get credit for. Why? Because when the slave master owns you, he takes credit for everything. Now, Sonny, I challenge you. Tell me what Mexicans created in this country, and I can tell you everything that foundational Black Americans created in this country. Our free labor is what gave this country the wealth that it has. Look at the wealth that white folks got from slavery. But of course, you're too ignorant to look it up. Why don't you study the things that black people created in this country? Then you come back and tell me the things that your people invented in this country. That's all I'm saying.
Power. I don't want to give that fool any kind of props or anything like that, because the guy's an idiot. He's just dumb.
Do I need props from this old ignorant man? Do I need this old ignorant man to give me any props? No, my people give me props. The people who stand on business, the people who love to hear the truth, they're the ones who give me props and support my platform. I don't need props from you. I don't need anything from you. Nada, zero.
I talked about him before. I guess he had to change his channel. He probably changed his channel because he was being so disrespectful to Rasta. They probably canceled him. So now he's starting with a new channel. He only got a couple thousand subscribers, and he's bucking to make his money off of me. I'm not going to give him that clout. I'm not going to let him
make my money off of you. I make money off of anything I talk about. I don't need to use you to make money. I make content about you to show everybody how ignorant you are as a senior citizen. That's what I do. You're the same guy who said you're going to march against our reparations. You're the same guy who said you're going to rally your people up to march so that y'all can stop us as foundational Black Americans from receiving reparations. And you got the nerve to call somebody racist. Listen, he got caught in a lie. He couldn't prove that I called him. He couldn't prove that I called Mexicans a racial slur. So he moved the goalposts and said, well, you said my people are border hoppers. They are. If you come over here illegally, by definition, you are a border hopper. That is an action. That is not a racial slur, Sonny. Educate yourself. Understand the difference between an action versus a racial slur.
He can talk about me once. I ain't answering him back. Like I said, he's racist. That's all he is. He's black racist that likes to claim that he invented rap, that he made this United States. When in reality, he ain't done nothing. All he ever does is beg on YouTube for money. But it is what it is. Have a blessed one, you guys. Bye.
Man, I'm gonna show you Lucky from Hood Stocks, man. They said he issued an apology. I don't think he issued an apology. Now, this is the dude who said African booty scratcher right here. This is him right here. He had a little meet up and pop up, and people say, well, how come Sporty Face and pull up over there for a face? Why would I pull up to a spot where you and all your homeboys gonna be? I offered you to meet me at a neutral place, and we can catch a fade, and ain't nobody got to go to jail, and nobody gonna get shot. Ain't nobody gonna get jumped. Why would I pull up to a place where all your homeboys gonna be to confront you? That don't make sense. So when I seen Mexicans saying, well, Lucky had a pop-out, didn't nobody show up. Why would I show up to your event? Why would I show up to your pop-out where everybody knows you're going to be there? All your homies are going to be there. Why would I pull up to a place like that to confront you? When Sporty Face said, let's catch a fade, he said, we can meet up somewhere neutral and we can do this the legal way. Nobody ain't got to get hurt. Nobody ain't got to go to jail. Nobody ain't going to get jumped. Now, I want you to hear this. Now, Dubs did a video saying Lucky apologized and it still ain't good enough. Now, you guys tell me if this is a real apology. You let me know.
Yeah.
Hey, we got enough adversity on the streets. This pop-up right here has been peaceful and it's been successful. And I thank God for that right there. You know what? There's too much shit going on in the streets for us to be going at it with each other over fucking stupidity. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hold myself accountable for my shit, hold yourselves accountable for your shit, and let's move forward. With that said, love and respect to everybody, all the supporters. I love you guys, man. It's the holidays. Let's take care of our family. Let's worry about our family. Let's think about what we're gonna do next year. You know what I mean? To pick each other up instead of drag each other down. Shout out to all my dogs right here from Orange County to LA. You already know what to do right here, baby. This is Hood Stocks right here.
Yeah.
Hey, we got enough adversity on the street.
Now, what he said is, we don't need to go at each other. Now, I get what he was saying. I don't think he wanted to sound like a buster, so he didn't say, hey man, I apologize. He didn't say that. He kind of gave like a halfway apology, but he said, hey man, we don't need to be going back and forth with each other. Let's dead the situation and move forward. So give me your thoughts on this. I want to know what y'all think about it. I'm gonna let it play again one more time.
This pop-up right here has been peaceful and it's been successful. And I thank God for that right there. You know what? There's too much shit going on in the streets for us to be going at it with each other over fucking stupidity. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hold myself accountable for my shit, hold yourselves accountable for your shit, and let's move forward. With that said, love and respect to everybody, all the supporters. I love you guys, man. It's the holidays. Let's take care of our family. Let's worry about our family. Let's think about what we're gonna do next year. You know what I mean? To pick each other up instead of drag each other down. Shout out to all my dogs right here from Orange County to LA. You already know what to do right here, baby. This is Hood Stocks right here.
Yeah.
Hey, we got enough adversity on the streets. This pop-up right here has been peaceful and it's been successful. And I thank God for that right there. You know what? There's too much shit going on in the streets for us to be going at it with each other over fucking stupidity. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hold myself accountable for my shit, hold yourselves accountable for your shit. And
So let me know, man. Some people say, nah, that wasn't a real apology. Now, listen, I'm not asking him.
How you doing?
I'm not
Saludos.
asking him for an apology.
It's cracking, everybody. How you doing? This is real quick. Red Supremes came out with another video, and his question was to us what do Mexicans have that blacks want, FBA want? It's real simple. You want our culture. Can't have it. Sorry. We have historians.
We want your culture. He said blacks want Mexicans' culture. No, we don't. We don't listen to y'all music, nothing. The only thing we do is eat your food, bro. We don't want nothing from your culture. We don't talk like y'all. We don't dress like y'all. We don't listen to y'all music. You guys talk like us. You dress like us. You use our slang. You listen to our music. You make money off of our music. I want you to hear this fool. I want you to hear what this fool said.
It's cracking, everybody. How you doing? This is real quick. Red Supremes came out with another video, and his question was to us what do Mexicans have that blacks want, FBA want? It's real simple. You want our culture. Can't have it. Sorry. We have historians. We have history. We have DNA. We have facts on our side. Nothing to do with it. You're not Indian. You're not Native American. You were brought from your people where your ancestors were brought from Africa. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. I didn't approve it. My family had nothing to do with it. You need to worry about those Europeans, Spaniards, and
you need to worry about those Europeans that's deporting your people and sending them back across the border. We have historians. You guys benefit off of our civil rights. You guys benefit off of the 13th and 14th Amendment that foundational Black Americans fought for. You guys have nothing that we want. Listen, Mexicans don't have anything that we want. We got our own music. We got our own style. We got our own culture. You guys make money off of our culture, not the other way around. What a bozo.
people that sold you, your people. That's not me. You can't have our culture. Sorry. That's how uneducated I am, okay? It's cracking, everybody. How you doing? This is real quick. Red Supremes came out with another video. And his question was to us what do Mexicans have that blacks want, FBA want? It's real simple. You want our culture. Can't have it. Sorry. We have historians. We have history. We have DNA. We have facts on our side. Nothing to do with it. You're not Indian. You're not Native American. You were brought from your people where your ancestors were brought from Africa. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. I didn't approve it. My family had nothing to do with it. You need to worry about those Europeans, Spaniards, and the people that sold you. your people. That's not me. You can't have our culture. Sorry. That's how uneducated I am. Okay? It's cracking everybody.
So he said we want their culture, right? So we want their culture, right? That's hilarious. I think that has to be one of the most funniest things I've heard all month. We want their culture. We don't listen to your music. We don't dress like you. We don't talk like you. We don't. You notice how this guy just lies and make up things? He couldn't prove that I called Mexicans a racial slur. So he tried to make it seem like, well, calling us border hoppers is a racial slur. No, calling you a border hopper is an action. Illegal immigrants, by definition, are border hoppers. So he moved the goalposts. Well, calling us border hoppers is a racial slur. No, it's not. That's an action, not a racial slur. You uneducated old fool, you. Then he goes on to say the Raza needs to march in heavy protest so that blacks can get reparations, right? Then he went on to say, well, foundational black Americans, they want to steal our culture. What? Steal what from your culture? The youngsters don't even want to participate in your culture. The youngsters don't even want to be cholos no more. The young people in your community want nothing to do with Mexicano, Chicano culture. This is why they dress, talk, and act black and make hip hop music. They don't want anything to do with your culture. So if the young Mexicans don't want anything to do with Mexican Chicano culture, what makes you think black Americans want anything to do with it? We don't listen to your music. Our swagger is completely different from yours.
I'm gonna get into something that's probably gonna get caught up. I'm gonna have Blue Devil, Dildo, and American Coward chop it up and send this to the black community. By all means, handle your business. I ain't tripping. No disrespect to the black community. I've got subscribers that are black. I have friends that are black. I have family members that are black.
Okay, so if you got black friends, why would you march? Why would you tell the Mexican community the Raza needs to march in heavy protest to stop blacks from getting reparations? Huh? That is hatred. It takes a pure hater to say something like that. You're so jealous that you want your people to march and protest against our reparations. Oh, I got black friends. I'm not a racist. Yeah, whatever.
But I do want to get on this guy's bumper, Red Supreme. Red Supreme has made a video about me a while back talking about I was a racist because I didn't believe in reparations for the blacks. Even though I clearly spoke to him and told him me being against reparations was for anybody, not just blacks, but anybody getting reparations, and it was clearly from a taxpayer's standpoint. Okay, now listen. Red Supreme is constantly causing division. Every video that he comes out about, he's talking about Raza in one form or another. He's always talking about Raza. In this last video, I seen him talking about Lefty Gunplay and Swifty Blue. Talking about that they're stealing from the black culture, that hip-hop is black music, and they shouldn't be using the black culture music in order to make a living. Okay, he can push the narrative all he wants, but it's been well documented that Latinos were part of the beginning of hip-hop. Whether he likes it or not, you cannot change facts.
Latinos had nothing to do with the creation of hip-hop. They participated in hip-hop, but they had nothing to do with the creation. You see how they keep trying to latch themselves onto our greatness, trying to latch themselves onto our culture? Latinos had nothing to do with the creation of hip-hop. They don't come from your culture. Your people was listening to salsa and mariachi music prior to hip-hop. Stop it. That's the soul of hip-hop comes from foundational black Americans, not Latinos. I'm sorry. I got to break this news to you, homie. Your people had nothing to do with the creation of this thing that we all love called hip-hop. They had nothing to do with it. Zero. Participation and creation are totally different.
He can push the narrative all he wants about this. They're stealing from the black culture, that hip hop is black music, and they shouldn't be using the black culture music in order to make a living. Okay, he can push the narrative all he wants, but it's been well documented that Latinos were part of the beginning of hip hop. Whether he likes it or not, you cannot change facts. Facts are Latinos were part of hip hop in the beginning. Not only in the beginning, but the success that it's had. Latinos are probably the biggest supporters of hip hop, buying the products. Now, I will grant you, I'm not very fond of a lot of raza doing hip hop, but there are some like, what's the name, Lighter Shade of Brown, and stuff like that. It's, I mean, there's music out there that I'm very proud of for my gente, and they're very good, and they're not exploiting anybody's culture. But to say that Latinos were not part and that this is a black culture is almost comical. This man needs, when he was making a video about me, he talked about a doctor, a black doctor that did the first successful heart surgery and the first blood transfusion.
Which is true.
It was true. The person that did it was black. Their skin color was black. But he's looking, it's almost like a half full, half empty cup. Okay? It's how you look at it. I looked at it as those two individuals took the opportunity to go to school and learn. Who taught those individuals?
You see how these Mexicans go out of their way to undermine what we did? Well, black people did it, but then it was white people who taught them. Blacks was doing hip hop, but Latinos helped them. Every chance they get, they try to downplay what we did, or they try to minimize what we did. Well, a black person did do hip hop, but Latinos helped you. Well, a black man did the first open heart surgery. A black man did the first blood transfusion, but it was a white man who taught him. You see how these people really feel about you? Instead of him just saying, okay, black people did that, he's trying to downplay it or minimize it. But that's how these people think. This is how these people really feel.
But he's looking, it's almost like a half full, half empty cup. Okay? It's how you look at it. I looked at it as those two individuals took the opportunity to go to school and learn. Who taught those individuals? Was it a Latino? Was it a white? Was it an Asian that taught them and schooled them on how to do it? Those individuals.
If a white man schooled us on how to do it, then a white man would have done it. If a white man schooled us, he would have did the first open heart surgery. If a white man schooled us, he would have did the first blood transfusion. If a white man schooled us, the white man would have created the traffic light. You sound dumb. He's trying to minimize everything we did. It shows you how much of a hater he actually is. He already said he wanted to march against our reparations. So should we be surprised about anything he says? Absolutely not. He tried to downplay everything that we did. No, Latinos help you create rap. A white man taught you how to do the open heart surgery. Yes, you did it, but a white man taught you. Well, you did the first blood transfusion, but a white man taught you. Or maybe it was an Asian.
Okay, it's how you look at it. I looked at it as those two individuals took the opportunity to go to school and learn. Who taught those individuals? Was it a Latino? Was it a white? Was it an Asian that taught them and schooled them on how to do it, those individuals went to school and they were well educated in order to do that. It shouldn't validate a podcaster in 2024 that wants to yell out, we're better than everybody because I'm black. That you're still in everything.
Oh no, I didn't
black.
say we're better than everybody. I just gave my people props for the things that we created in this country. I just gave my people props for the things that they've created in this country. That's all I did. If that makes you feel inferior, then that's a personal problem. If me speaking on my people's accomplishments makes you feel inferior, that's a personal issue. That ain't got nothing to do with me, partner.
If you want to look at it, it shouldn't validate a podcaster in 2024 that wants to yell out, we're better than everybody because I'm black. That you're still in everything from a black. If you want to look at it this way, let's play your game, okay? Red Supreme, we'll play your game. Okay. We'll stop doing hip hop if you stop counting money. Ooh. You don't get no currency. You don't do anything with arithmetic. Everything starts with arithmetic, including medical.
So who did that? The Aztecs? For one, the Aztecs didn't do it, and you're not an Aztec. Most Mexicans today are half European, half native. You're not an Aztec. Aztecs didn't have Spanish blood. Aztecs didn't have European blood. So you're not that. You're not an Aztec. If you're 40% European, you're not an Aztec. Period. Those people are completely different from the Mexicans you see today. The Mexicans today are not Aztecs. They're just not. They don't even have the same bloodline. It's completely different. Foundational Black Americans are different from Africans. Our bloodlines are different.
Everything starts with arithmetic. Who created that? The Aztecs. So, if you're counting money, currency, your bills, your subscribers, and what you made,
melanated people was in Europe civilizing them centuries ago. In the 1300s, in the 1200s, prior to that, we was doing mathematics. We was doing science. This is a known fact. We didn't take anything from no Aztecs. And if you want to take it a step further, the Aztecs were melanated people. They were not pale-skinned people. The Aztecs looks nothing like the Mexicans you see today. The Aztecs were melanated people. They didn't have Spanish European blood. Listen, homie, there's different tribes in North America, right? Some of them were melanated, some of them were red-skinned. Just like when you go to Africa, not all Africans look the same. There's different Africans, just like there were different native tribes here in America. Not all natives look the same. Not all Africans look the same. Some are dark-skinned, some are light-skinned. These pale-skinned people you see today who claim to be natives, they are not real natives. Those are $5 Indians. The Aztecs were melanated people. They were not Europeans. They didn't have European blood.
This month, you're stealing from our culture.
I want you to hear what this idiot just said. Our culture. You're not an Aztec, Sonny.
The Aztecs. So, if you're counting money, currency, your bills, your subscribers, and what you made this month, you're stealing from our culture. That's how ignorant that sounds. By you
Jose,
saying
you need to be worried about ICE, man. You need to be worried about ICE rounding up your people. That's what you need to be worried about. You know what I mean? Because everything that we created, everything that we invented, we can prove it. Everything that foundational Black Americans invented or created, I can prove it. It's documented. It's not my fault that you don't like it, Jose. You need to be worried about ICE pulling up on you.
Stealing from the Black culture. That's how ignorant it sounds. See, it goes both ways. And I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm just trying to show you the errors of your ways. You're causing division between two groups of people.
I'm not causing division between two groups of people. Blacks and Mexicans been divided. Your people ride with white supremacists and Nazis in prison. You guys have a loose alliance with them. A YouTuber can't cause division between blacks and Mexicans. I'm speaking about the division that I spoke on this division that was already there. I don't have enough power to divide black and brown, but what I can do is speak on it and give my people the facts, give them the reality, the truth about what's really going on. I ain't got enough power to separate black and brown. Nah, bro, I ain't got that much power, bro. So I'm not causing division. I'm speaking on division that was already there. This division you're talking about was already there before Red Supreme created a YouTube channel, before Red Supreme became a podcaster. That division already existed in black and brown communities in Southern California, in Los Angeles.
When you sit there and we're stealing from the black culture, that's how ignorant it sounds. See, it goes both ways. And I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm just trying to show you the errors of your ways. You're causing division between two groups of people. When you sit there and constantly talk about another race and make it about the color of somebody's skin, who's the racist? It's you. You need to stop focusing on, that's how you're making your money. It's talking about raza. That's how you're making your money on YouTube, talking about my people, stealing their culture.
Your people are making money off of our music, but a lot of them don't like us at the same time, but they're making money off of our culture, and our music is our culture. I've been making money on YouTube before I said one thing about a Mexican. Let me tell you something, Sonny. I've been making money on YouTube way before I said anything about a Mexican. And if you've been rocking with my channel, guess what? I started off talking about relationships, player stuff, max, pimps, dating and relationships. That's what I started talking about when I first came to YouTube. I started talking about Mexicans way later in the game. So you don't know what you're talking about, bro.
And you said something to the effect that because they wear thick chains.
No, if you've been watching my channel, you know I started out talking about dating and relationships. I was not talking about Mexicans when I first came to YouTube. I started talking about Mexicans later on in the game.
Focusing on, that's how you're making your money. It's talking about raza. That's how you're making your money on YouTube, talking about my people, stealing their culture. And then you said something to the effect that because they wear thick chains, that's not a raza
Jose,
thing.
The Mexican cartel in Mexico is decapitating people, unaliving people left and right. Why don't you speak about what's going on in your country, Mexico, and how ICE is sending people right back to the place that they don't want to be? Why don't you talk about that? Huh?
Dude, have you not seen the paisas of Mexico? Cartels? You think blacks wear chains? Oh, you ain't seen shit till you see a paisa from the cartels have chains. Dude, you're speaking and it doesn't make sense, and it's not right. It's disrespectful. You want people to have respect for your gente, your people, then you need to have respect for everybody else's. It's not because things aren't done because of somebody's color of their skin. And it's hypocritical to even think that. It's comical. Like I said, hip-hop has been documented. I know you guys try to change the narrative. You and Nasheed are always trying to change the narrative in history, in the books. Like I said, hip-hop has been documented. I know you guys try to change the narrative. You and Nasheed are always trying to change the narrative in history, in the books, and everything else to reflect that a black man did it. Well, you're doing it now. Are you the first podcaster? Was a black the first podcaster? If not, then you should step off of YouTube.
We never claimed to be the first podcasters. We never said that. If you're going to quote me correct. I never said that we were the first podcasters. But what I did say is Latinos had nothing to do with the creation of hip hop. They wasn't. Mexicans and Latinos was listening to the oldies back in the 50s and 60s. We never listened to music that came from them. We never listened to their music, but they've always listened to our music. Guess what? Music influences culture. Let me school you something. Let me school you on something, old man. Music influences culture. Latinos have always listened to our music. You can go back to the 30s and 40s. They've always listened to our music. We've never listened to the music that they created. Never. You can't show me one time in history when blacks were influenced by Latino music. It's never happened. Music influences culture. Whoever dominates music influences the culture. That is common sense, but I'm pretty sure that went way over your head.
Because you're still in somebody else's culture. Now, I'm not complaining about it. I didn't start it. I'm not trying to validate it by somebody else's accomplishments. You really want to go all the way back? This land belonged to my people. I got American history, Native American blood in me.
There were different native tribes, and you're not related to all these different native tribes. Some of these native tribes look like me, and they had darker skin than me. I'm a light complected black person, right? I got light skin, right? California was only Mexico for 27 years. You're half European and half native. What native tribe you belong to, Sonny? Because there were different native tribes all over the U.S., all over the Americas, and not all of them look the same. So when you say you're native, that's a blanket statement. There were different tribes of native. They look different. Not all native people look the same. Like if somebody say they're African, you got to be Pacific, because not all Africans have the same language. Not all Africans look the same. There's different phenotypes in Africa, just like you had different phenotypes of natives here in the Americas. Native people are not all native people look the same. Not all native people have the same skin tone or complexion. I'm a school you on history. Have you ever heard of the Black Seminoles? I'm pretty sure you never heard of the Black Seminoles down there in Florida, South Carolina. I'm pretty sure you never heard of it because you're too ignorant. This fool wants you to believe that all natives look the same when that's the furthest thing from the truth.
Without our land, none of this is possible.
You got land in Mexico right now. You don't want to be in Mexico. People are fleeing Mexico by the millions. So land ain't your problem. There's no shortage of land in Mexico. There's tons of land in Mexico. And you don't want to live there. You don't want to be there. You come to America and you wave a Mexican flag, but you don't want to live there. Why would you wave the flag of a country that you don't want to live in? If you're so proud of the country, why don't you go live there? You don't want to live in Mexico. You don't. How in the hell are you going to take pride in something that you're running away from?
You really want to go all the way back? This land belonged to my people. I got American history, Native American blood in me. Without our land, none of this is possible. So you want to start throwing history into things? Well, it goes both ways, man. Stop making videos about raza. Make some videos to empower your people like you want.
Sonny, man, listen. This ain't no beef, Sonny. This is YouTube. I'm just correcting you on some of the foolish things you're saying. You told your people that I was calling Mexican racial slurs. Once we proved that was a lie, you moved the goalpost and said, "Well, he did call us border jumpers. That's a racial slur." No, being a border jumper is an action. It's not a racial slur. If you cross the border illegally, you are a border hopper. By definition, you are a border hopper if you cross the border illegally. So he couldn't prove that I called Mexicans racial slurs, so he tried to make it seem like me calling them border jumpers and border hoppers is the same thing as a racial slur. And you're wrong.
Just do it a different way, because the way you're doing it, all you do is cause division.
Hit the like button, man. Like I said, man, I've been doing what I got to do over here, man. We in the game so heavy, so heavily, baby. You know, salute to the game. It's King Supreme. Make sure that you guys support the platform in a major way. We got 500 some people watching. Let's get some people to contribute to the content. You know, it is what it is. Show some love when you slide through.
At the end of conversation, but
See, he's made several videos with my name in it, so he can't get upset that I'm making videos about him. See, I never put his names in none of the titles. He's put my name in several titles. Do I get mad about it? No, I don't care. He could put my name in a video all he wants. It doesn't bother me.
Said that. But either way, I haven't called him outside his name, and I've been respectful because he's been respectful for me. So I haven't disrespected that man. But we do have a lot of disagreements, and tell you the truth, he's the type of person that will not admit when he's wrong about something. And again, I had talked about this, that I said about hip hop and the Puerto Ricans. I believe what I believe. I'm not saying I'm this scholar on hip hop or this expert or anything of the sort. I just had the privilege of doing an interview with Melaman Ace, which is Puerto Rican from the East Coast. And he gave us the history of hip hop. And that hip hop was started with Latinos and blacks. And I don't see anything remotely different other than the FBA saying that it was a black culture. Now,
If you're not on, if you have knowledge of the subject, then you ain't got no business talking about it. Latinos had nothing to do. You know, they had nothing to do with the creation of hip hop. They participated in hip hop because we accepted them. We accepted them. But they had absolutely nothing to do with the creation of hip hop.
they base this a lot on, and even Red Supreme bases this on the fact that our parents told us not to associate with blacks. I don't know what family he's ever encountered.
Lefty Gunplay even admitted that. Your family told you don't bring a black home. George Lopez said it openly. Hey, man, you're not supposed to bring a black person home. Stop denying this. Anti-blackness is a part of Latino culture. You ain't fooling nobody. I've studied this for a long time. The caste system comes from the Spaniards. They introduced that caste system to people and told everybody that dark-skinned people were inferior to light people. You guys been indoctrinated with anti-blackness, anti-black racism. This is no secret. If you study the anti-black racism that goes on in Latin America, you're going to say, damn, Red is telling the truth. You ain't got to take my word for it. But I understand you're in denial because you don't want to admit the facts.
My family never told me that. Yes, my father was racist to a certain extent. And what I mean by that is he went to prison and he came out with the mentality of fighting with the blacks, and you get like that in prison. If you've been in prison, you get like that where you learn to hate. Doesn't matter who it is, you just learn to hate. So, and Red Supreme's thinking, he thinks that the raza is to blame for everything. That we are always the cause of the problem. That we're puffing out our chest all the time, and we just attack them because we want to be like them. That's that's Red Supreme's thinking. Let me explain something. When I was in accounting in the early '80s, I started going to accounting in the early '80s. Raza used to get jumped. We were short. We were short like you wouldn't believe. And it was maybe like 2 or 3 of us to a dorm, maybe, and there would be hundreds of blacks. And they would bully. They would attempt
So
to
he's
bully
saying
us.
back in the 80s, blacks in LA would beat up the Mexicans and rob them. Yeah, that's true. But blacks bullied each other. See, you guys, what you guys don't know is there was a lot of that going on. Now, that's true. Blacks were bullying Mexicans in the LA County jail back in the early 80s. Yes, that happened. But it's not like they were just picking on Mexicans. They were preying on each other. Anybody they can make a victim, they turn that person into a victim. So that's true. Blacks did assault and beat up a lot of Mexicans. Maybe that's why they hate us so much, because they feel like we victimized them at one point in time. I don't know. But they were doing it to everybody. They were doing it to whites, they were doing it to Mexicans, and they were doing it to other blacks. They wasn't singling out. It's not like they singled out one race or one particular group. Blacks bullied everybody during those times.
When I was in the county, the raza is to blame for everything. That we are always the cause of the problem. That we're puffing out our chest all the time, and we just attack them because we want to be like them. That's that's Red Supreme's thinking. Let me explain something. When I was in accounting in the early '80s, I started going to accounting in the early '80s. Raza used to get jumped. We were short. We were short like you wouldn't believe. And it was maybe like 2 or 3 of us to a dorm, maybe, and there would be hundreds of blacks. And they would bully. They would attempt to bully us, and there was many times that I got jumped personally by the blacks. I've been put in dorms where they write F Mexicans on the wall. So you can't tell me that it's a one way. It's a one way. You can't tell me that you know for a fact that our parents are telling us, oh, you can't have a black, or don't talk to a black person. That doesn't happen in our, whether you realize it or not, you are not our main priority in life. That's my biggest gripe with Red Supreme, is he feels that everything is based on race. And it's not. Everything is not based on the color of your skin. At some point, you have to understand it's about individuals. Like, you want to take the credit for, like I said, you want to validate yourself by saying that we were the first ones to do an open heart surgery, the blacks. We're the first to do an open heart surgery. That you were the first to do a transfusion, but you fail to acknowledge that a white person taught you that, or taught that person that.
So a white person taught us how to do the thing. Look, he said, we can't take credit for the open heart surgery and the blood transfusion because a white man taught us. Here you go, trying to give credit to the white man. If that's the case, the white man would have did it himself.
Like, you want to take the credit for, like I said, you want to validate yourself by saying that we were the first ones to do an open heart surgery, the blacks. We're the first to do an open heart surgery. That you were the first to do a transfusion, but you fail to acknowledge that a white person taught you that, or taught that person that. They educated them that. What's wrong with that? It's the same thing, I'm sure, with the music. Is maybe you were taught, and not you specifically, but blacks were taught a certain something that twisted into hip hop. Doesn't make it mean that you're the ones that invented it, that you created it. You try to take away from everybody else, on what they're doing or their contributions. You know, I was looking at your feed, your comment section, and you have a lot of blacks from your FBA claiming to be Native Americans. And you talk about me about being Mexican. My tribe is called Pomo. It's out of Northern California. I know you didn't see that coming. I am Pomo. That's why I don't speak Spanish. I do have Mexican blood in me. I'm what they call a Chicano. I grew up in Southern California. My neighborhood's in, which is probably true, one of the most racist cities in Southern California, Burbank. Yeah, I know about Burbank. I also know that there's a lot of blacks in Burbank now that walk around freely. Nobody tells them nothing. See, you said that I could walk down any black area and not get handled. I beg to differ. I got a homeboy that we buried. My homeboy Little Wolfie. He parked his car in the wrong street. If he would have parked the next block over, he would have been fine. He parked his car on the wrong street in South Central, somewhere where East Coast was at. And he got gunned down. I parked my truck one time on a certain block, and they broke my window when I was coming out of the truck, because based on the color of my skin. There was 3 Mexicanos, paisas, not even gang members, paisas. They were working a catering truck in South Central, and the Bloods ran up in there and killed them all. Then we have another.
Now, he said his partner parked in South Central around the East Coast Crips, and the Crips killed one of his friends. Then he said some Bloods ran up in a Mexican taco shop and unalived them. I don't know if these things are true. Things like that do happen, though.
On the wrong street in South Central, somewhere where East Coast was at, and he got gunned down. I parked my truck one time on a certain block, and they broke my window when I was coming out of the truck, because based on the color of my skin. There was 3 Mexicanos, paisas, not even gang members, paisas. They were working a catering truck in South Central, and the Bloods ran up in there and killed them all. Then we have another incident where there were 3 brothers in South Central that got gunned down because they were paisas. And I know this for a fact because it was my wife's cousins. You're always talking about what raza does to Mexican or to the blacks, but you never bring up the fact that blacks do it back. That's why I said it's not completely truthful to say that we don't do nothing or that we haven't done anything, that Maya raza hasn't attacked the blacks, but it's gone both ways. And it's hypocritical for you to say that it doesn't, that you just sit there and idly by and get attacked. You're screaming at the top of your lungs about reparations. Reparations this, reparations that, right? But yet, you complain that the Native Americans get reparations, right? You complain that reparations from Native Americans. But you claim to be Native American.
I didn't say I was Native American. I said I'm a foundational Black American. A lot of us have Native blood, and that's true. Some of these tribes were Black. Have you ever heard of the Blackfoot Cherokees, the Black Seminoles, and many other Native groups that I can name? They don't look like you, Sonny. These are melanated people. You got to understand that black people were the first people on planet Earth. You can find blacks in Australia. You can find blacks in Europe. You can find blacks in Asia and everywhere. Every continent on the globe, you have black melanated people. We are the first human beings on planet Earth. So, of course, we were everywhere. You don't know that because you've been brainwashed to think different because you think like a Spanish conquistador, a colonizer.
Make up your mind. You got reparations, you did it. You can't
You ain't never heard Sonny complain about the natives getting reparations, but he said he gonna march and protest if the blacks get reparations. Yeah.
have it both ways. Say, oh, we're Native American. And then say,
I said we're foundational black Americans. A lot of these native tribes were melanated people. They were not pale skinned or red skinned people. That's a fact. If you study the history, a lot of your Spanish explorers told you that some of these people were black. The Spanish explorers, listen, the Spanish conquistadors they talked about this many times. How they saw black people when they first came to the Americas. And they were different native tribes all across the United States. Well, it wasn't even called the United States back then, but you know what I'm talking about. But on this particular land right here where we reside in the United States, the Spanish settlers would tell you, the Spanish explorers told you that, hey, we've seen black people when we touched down on this land. They've been talking about that. The Native Americans you see today are not real Native Americans. These are $5 Indians. These are not real natives.
that we need reparations because we're black. It doesn't go both ways. I'm Native American. Half American, Native American, half Mexican. I never want to say Mexicans. My raza, I'm indigenous. I'm a Chicano. I was born and raised in California. My mother and father were born and raised in California. My mother's grandparents or parents were born in Mexico. Okay? That's where my lineage comes from. My father's from up in Northern California. Okay? But you don't see me crying about the Native American reparations for them. You don't see me telling anybody I got something colored color of my skin. But see, that's why I get into it with you. Because, and I'm not being disrespectful, but the simple fact that you got people in your comments, I have never heard you say it, but I'm sure you do because most FBA will say they're indigenous to this land. They're native. And that it's all made up to make you look like, to hide your glory of being black. And they got reparations because they lost land, there was genocide. Anything you can do wrong to the Native Americans were done wrong to my people. But you claim that you're my people.
No, we're completely different. See, what you got to understand, Sonny, is there's different natives. Not all natives look the same. I know you want to paint the picture like all native people were the same. They were not. There were natives way on the East Coast in Florida, all over this country. You had different tribes of natives, and they don't look like you, and they don't look like your people today. Your people of today, they look nothing like them. There were different tribes of natives all across this country. Get it right, Sonny. Huh?
But then they're still asking for reparations. Why? You already got it, right?
Sonny ain't got enough common sense to understand that there were different native tribes. They didn't all look the same. Just like if you go to Africa, there's different tribes of Africa. They got different languages, different cultures. They're not the same. Africa is a continent. Not all Africans look the same. Not all Africans talk the same. Not all Africans have the same skin complexion. Same thing with the natives.
Because you're Native American. Make up your mind. This is the kind of thing that I don't like, and this is the kinds of things I see. You talk about my people, Mexicanos, coming, illegal immigrations. You forget to tell everybody that this is stolen land. This land was stolen from Mexico.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Florida was never Mexico. Georgia was never Mexico. Louisiana was never Mexico. South Carolina was never Mexico. New York was never Mexico. Missouri was never Mexico. Tennessee was never Mexico. Keep in mind, Mexico owned California for 27 years. California was under Mexico's rule for 27 years. That is a short time. A lot of people got kids older than that. You got people with grandkids older than that. California was Mexico for 27 years.
This land was stolen. This was all one land, from South America all the way up north.
No, you had different native tribes, and they're not all the same. You're not related to a lot of these different native tribes. They look nothing like you, homeboy. That's like if somebody said they're from Africa, but then you have West Africans, North Africans, East Africans, Africans in South Africa. They're different. They don't all look the same.
This was all one land.
It wasn't all one land. It was separated by tribes. Just like Africa is separated by different countries. And these people have different cultures, different languages. So it's not all the same. You had different civilizations. You had different civilizations here in the Americas. Different tribes, different civilizations. Not all natives. You got different natives. They're not all the same. They're different.
Okay. My people, Native Americans, were slaughtered by the millions.
And millions of black people lost their life on this land too. Slaughtered. Enslaved and slaughtered. You know how many foundational black Americans lost their lives here in the United States? Millions. A lot of them were lynched. A lot of them were hung. A lot of them were unalive. A lot of them died because they were worked too hard. They were worked like animals. You work 6 days a week, sundown to sun up. From sun up to sundown, you work 6 days a week, and you only had 1 day off. You only had 1 day off.
We were in.
Hit the like button. It ain't nothing, man. Listen, I just wanted to come here and drop some knowledge that you can't get in college. I suggest that you guys pay homage in a major way. Oh, we're not talking about Mexicans. We're talking about the United States of America. There were different tribes all over the Americas. Not all these native tribes look the same. They didn't all look the same. They didn't all speak the same language. There were different languages and different cultures, different tribes and natives all over the American continent. That is a fact. That is a fact, Jack. They found black people, homie. Listen, scientists have found black people, the bones of black people, way before the transatlantic slave trade went down. It was way before that. They got skeletons of black people that trace back centuries. I'm talking about over 1,000 years ago in the Americas. This is scientifically proven. This ain't me just saying this. Black people are the oldest human race on planet Earth. We're the oldest race on planet Earth, homie. You got blacks on every continent of this country, not just in Africa. Not all black. Listen, let me bring up Scoop. Scoop, you got
Salute, Red. Salute to you. Salute to the chat. Man, Sonny know better than this. You know, I don't know what his issue is. He says you got an issue with him. He got an issue with black people. Anytime you go on a podcast and say you gonna march, he didn't say he didn't like it. He said he gonna march. The Rasa need to, like, he was a call for arms to his people to prevent us from getting reparations. What in the heck does that got to do with him and his peoples? Now you got a problem. Now you sticking your nose in FBA's business. And we not gonna come for you, Sonny? Yeah, we gonna come for you. You sticking your nose in, and I know what he gonna say. Well, I'm a taxpayer, since tax. Well, then you talk to your government since you got such an issue with that. Don't address FBA's. Address the United States government. You want to talk about the land being stolen? Why ain't you addressing the United States government? Address them. But see, you want to sit up and paint this picture, Sonny, that you and your peoples was here before anybody. That's how I know you ignorant and don't know history. Because it's anything for the Rasa. I'm sick of the Rasa. I'm sick of even hearing about the Rasa. The Rasa. Since you're so sick about hearing about FBAs, I'm sick of hearing about the Rasa. See, one thing, Sonny, you could tell that mess to these little youngsters who maybe don't know no better. You could tell that mess to people out of state who don't know no better. But I'm, in the words of Red Supreme, I'm from South and Central LA, low bottoms all day, baby. You can't tell me nothing about your people and how y'all act toward us. You can't tell me nothing. Cause Sonny, I was there when y'all wasn't. I was there when you would be hard pressed to even find a Mexican anywhere in LA. Y'all had y'all little section. That's about it. We had to go look for y'all to find y'all. Y'all wasn't just everywhere like you is now. Got Central Avenue looking like Tijuana. You can't walk down Central no more. Bet you didn't know that was the black Mecca over there on Central Avenue. Bet you didn't know that. Where was y'all in? Since y'all was here, you would know that. But you don't. Everything is my people this and my people that. Red Supreme disrespecting. No, Red doing his job. Red is letting us know how it was and how it got to be. Because everybody don't know. And you around here spreading misinformation because your only focus is one thing. You care about the Rasa. So then what you on Red's head for? Because he care about FBA just like you care about your Rasa. But we telling the truth. Not once can you refute or bring any receipts to say anything that this man is saying is a lie. And I know you in the comments because I've seen you. Unless that's your twin, but he got that same fat cauliflower nose you got, so I'm pretty sure it's you, Sonny. So you want to come in here because you mad and you don't like, you could mind your own La Raza business and go on your way, but you don't want to do that. Because what we telling you is experience, and you talking about, oh, well, you know, somebody getting whacked over there in East Coast neighborhood. When you know East Coast and Florencia beefing. Anything in Florencia was getting whacked. If you black, anything on in the coast that was probably Latino was gonna have an issue. But you left that part out, Sonny. It wasn't just y'all people getting it. We was getting it too. You know good and damn well we can't walk through y'all neighborhoods without getting hard pressed. I can't go to Rosemead. I can't go to Pico Rivera. I can't go to El Monte. I can't go to La Habra. I can't go to Santa Ana. It's a lot of them neighborhoods that we know as black people. If you go through there, you're going to be hard pressed by them essays. We know. The difference is when y'all shot callers came out and y'all gave the green light, it was a green light on all blacks. It wasn't gang members. That's what y'all want to press. Oh, it's a gang thing. No, it's not. It was all black. That little girl that got unalive in the harbor area. Was she a gang member? You know? I said, I don't want to hear Sonny. When that house got firebombed in East LA, well, those gang members that got firebombed. It's too many instances that you all want to be in denial and try to say it's a gang thing. No, it's a black thing. It's because of anti-blackness in your community. That's what it is. How come you not addressing that? How come you not willing to be honest with that? But y'all still continue to take on the ways of your oppressors. The same people that oppressed you, you not mad at, but you mad at us. You think just like them. You act just like them. Your same talking points is like theirs. As far as you're concerned, your people look at us as we're enemies to y'all. So when you come into our spaces and you come into our culture and our music, you want to take it and think we're just supposed to sit there and let you do it. And then culture vulture off of anything we got and claim we didn't make anything. Maybe you should learn a history book, because that sounds like that Pelican Bay education that you got. You got that county, state education that you got from being locked up because your little big homies and everybody else want to tell you how it is. How it is. This is how it is, home. The blacks that say it's the blacks. The blacks ain't got nothing on. Sound kind of like them folks to me. Sound like Aryan thinking. But you claim La Raza different. The Raza, you your own people. Well, apparently y'all can't think for yourselves. You still need the white man to think for you because you've adopted everything that the white man does when it comes to us. You want to clown and say foundational black Americans ain't there, y'all this and that. Oh, that Tariq Nasheed. Y'all listen to Tariq Nasheed. That's the same thing your colonizers are screaming. Why do your talking points sound just like the colonizers' talking points, but you claim to be so into your Rasa? Because that tells me what I need to know. The La Rasa's anti-black. Y'all been anti-black. Y'all been on this anti-black. Y'all won't stop being anti-black. Everything that you got to do with, everything that y'all say, and every time y'all come with it at us, is something anti-black. Your policies in prison, anti-black. I've been locked up enough times to know. You can't do nothing without permission. Y'all can't even sit down and play a card game with us. Y'all can't dominoes. You can't share a tray. You can't do nothing because your policies is anti-black. You can't do nothing with us. Hell, next to the people you shoot, we can't even share a Coke and a smile together because of your policies. That's not our policies. That's y'all's policies. But you're not willing to sit down and admit it. None of y'all are. Your pride is in the way, Sonny. That's the problem. You and your people come here and then you get on the same side as them folks as though we done did something to you. Ain't nobody did nothing to y'all. Y'all have a problem with us. You've been having a problem with us. You mad because it's being called out and we know it. And now other people in other states is getting to see the mess that y'all doing. And then you got the nerve to come to us like you're going to check us. Once again, colonizer mentality. You take on their ways and believe that what we're supposed to do as you say. How you gonna tell Red he can't speak on it, what he needs to stop doing? Man, get the hell out of here. You a fool if you think you're gonna come here to a black platform or speak on a black platform and tell him what he is supposed to do and not do. Even though you stick up for your people, you don't want us sticking up for ours. It's always a problem. Same thing with them folks. That's what they get mad about. You act just like them. It's a problem when we stick up for ours. It's a problem when we decide we're not taking no more disrespect. That becomes an issue. Like I said, I'm from South Central LA. Low bottoms, baby. I seen how y'all get down. I know how y'all get down. And I'm like Red said the other day, soon as y'all get old enough, you start becoming Southsiders, them relationships with y'all start changing. I got plenty of homeboys. I got homies from Harpies. I got homies from 18th. Even though good and dang well, us at 18 was enemies. So I'm not cool with the whole hood, but I had individuals out. But as soon as that Southsider mentality set in, them relationships change. Y'all over there teaching, you can't talk about we teaching division and hate. No, that's y'all, because to be a Southsider, that's what it starts with, division and hate. Don't do this with the blacks, Don't talk to the blacks. Don't go around the blacks. Man, your parents even like that. Y'all treat us way different than what we treat y'all. So we over here on some, okay, we delineating mess. Don't mess with them folks. Leave them alone. Since that's how they feel about us, why still keep dealing with them? We deal with individuals. That's about it. But as far as you and your community, Sonny, you need to check your community, not come check us. We don't need to be checked. We doing as Foundation of Black Americans what we need to do for our people. And if that's the way it's got to be, then that's the way it's got to be. You do for your people, we do for our people. And we let each other alone. But don't come over here in black spaces. Don't come sending messages to black people as though we supposed to mind you. We ain't got to mind you. We ain't got to care about what La Raza is over there doing. Your problem is y'all stuck your nose in affairs that are not yours. And now you getting the backlash from it, and now you crying and upset. For y'all to tell us and come tell us what we didn't build, what our ancestors didn't do and didn't do, that's disrespect to our ancestors while you sitting up talking about yours. Y'all don't mind just blacks is lazy. I've even seen in the comments. Somebody said, hey, you blacks don't work. Y'all, if we didn't work, you wouldn't have had a country to come to if we didn't work. So chew on that, Sonny. Get your facts straight before you want to come check somebody. Open them history books. I don't know what you was reading when you was locked down. Apparently it wasn't black history. There wasn't anything about my peoples. Because some colonizers in your ear. That's what happens when you hook up with them YT people and their supremacy. They gonna teach you the way they think and the way they talk. You ain't not once came to see how we think and what we talk and what we teach and what we can prove and show you with receipts. But you're not willing to take that, just like the rest of your peoples ain't willing to take that. You're so big on rumors. You're so big on anything that goes against foundational Black Americans. You're gonna ride with it. I done said that a million times. Shoot, if man, the YT people could tell y'all we got wings and can fly, y'all people would believe it. Oh, the blacks got wings, and you spread that through your community. Blacks can fly. I saw 2 or 3. Throw a little lies in there, sprinkle a few little lies, and all y'all gonna believe it. Man, miss me with that. We not taking that disrespect. It's a new day, Sonny. Y'all gonna have to either fall in line or just gonna have to accept it whether you want to or not. So you can make all the videos you want, get mad all you want. It don't change the facts. We were here. We've been here. Oh, you guys go back to how we gonna go back to someplace we never came from? That's a foolish statement. We've been here. We built this country. We built the country, but everybody seems to get to enjoy it except for us. So yeah, we saying no more of that. No more of that. Till you guys are willing to address the anti-Black racism in your communities, then we can't have a conversation. Because you're not willing to be honest. You want to lie and lie and lie and continue to lie some more as though we so dumb that we don't know that. As though we ain't got great grandmothers and great grandfathers that were still alive when we were born that taught us and showed us. As though we ain't got photo albums with us on standing next to a teepee or in a tribe or back here and in old outfits, standing next to a old timey car, as if we ain't got pictures of that, of our history, where we come from. So what you trying to tell us is throw away them books because it's all a lie. You got drugged from the continent of Africa, and that's your history. That's all you know. You ain't built nothing. You came over here. You was lazy. You got on government assistance, and you blacks ain't never did nothing. And stop saying our name like that, Sonny. Put some respect on our name when you say black. Change that to FBA, Foundational Black Americans. I don't like the way you say blacks. You blacks. Every time I hear that out of one of y'all mouth, I know exactly how you feel about us. You full of it, Sonny. You pushing a line. You trying to push a hard line of that anti-blackness. That's all you doing. So don't come over here or talk about we spreading the division and hate. Division, you have to first be united to make a division. That means something had to be connected first before you can divide it. When was we connected, Sonny? When was blacks and Mexicans ever connected? You got to remember one thing. You was not here before us. Because if that's the case, that means we would have been moving into your neighborhood instead of y'all moving into ours. That shows you who was there before you guys were. But you don't want to accept the truth because you don't like the truth because it don't make the Rasa look good.
Hey, that's a fact. We didn't move in Mexican communities in Los Angeles. They moved in black communities. We wasn't moving to East LA in large numbers or El Monte or Boyle Heights. We didn't move in y'all communities. When all those Mexicans started, overpopping LA, crossing the border illegally, they dumped those people in our community. And he moved the goalposts. Sonny said that, Red called us beaners and wetback. I never said that, right? So when it came out that I never said that, well, he called us border hoppers. That's a racial slur. No, border hopping is an action. That's not a racial slur. If you came to this country illegally, by definition, you are a border hopper. That is an action. That is not a racial slur. You would think that an old man of his age would understand that.
He don't, Red. He don't, because he don't care to understand it. That's the problem. You can tell where his education level lies. Anybody from LA, anybody in the chat, all my LA folks with a little bit of age on them, you know good and dang well what LA was like back in the 70s and 80s. You couldn't halfway find a Mexican. It was black families everywhere. Black owned, black businesses, black everything. You ride up and down Arlington, black. Van Ness, black. Crenshaw, black. Main Street, black. Central, black. Manchester, black. Vernon, black. Imperial, black. All the way out to the swap meet out there on Redondo Beach. You show up black. You had to pretty much go out of our neighborhoods, way somewhere else to even probably see somebody of Hispanic heritage. They came where we was at and then brought that anti-black racism right with it. We still accepted them, not knowing any better, thinking, oh, well, they a minority, we a minority. They mistreated, we mistreated. No, they adopted the ways of the colonizer when they got there and decided they also had a problem with us. Then why come to where we were at in our communities? You took over our communities and then turned these communities into TJ. Everywhere looked like Tijuana. Y'all party all day, all night. Music bumping. Everything that we do, you guys adopted, take it, and then claim that it could be great and part of your culture. That's why we having the problem we have it now, and you guys don't like the pushback because this a whole new day with us. There ain't no more disrespect, ain't no more letting y'all misspeak on us. One thing the internet did is gave black people a voice. And that's what y'all have a problem with, because you can't push that propaganda no more without someone giving you pushback. And hopefully brothers like Red Supreme, Bobby Yaya, and more jump on board and give y'all the pushback y'all need so y'all can understand we're not tolerating the disrespect, man. The day of disrespecting foundational black Americans is over. You living in our communities, not the other way around. You come to where we're at. Then you set up shop and then exclude us from anything and everything. But the minute we do something, you expect that we're supposed to include you or we're being divisive. Now, if that ain't some gaslighting, I don't know, man. Keep the lies over there with y'all, Sonny. If this ain't gonna work, which I don't believe it ever is, and there's never gonna be no black and brown, guess what? We fine with that. Because we busy over here trying to take care of us. We busy over here trying to make sure we right and we straight. And then our youngers and some of these little old ones that don't get it, get this message through their head that look how y'all is toward us. And once we can understand that, maybe we can move forward and start building back what we have let go or have taken from us and put our communities back in order. And we have some pride about ourselves and have our own, because that's what we need. We need our own, ran by our own, with leaders who are for us. And that's where I'm going to land it, Red.
Well, I appreciate you, Scoop, for pulling up, man. Listen, you guys. Yeah. Sonny, you lied on me, man. Calling somebody a border hopper is not the same as using a racial slur. It's not the same. By definition, if you cross the border illegally, then you are a border hopper by definition. Border hopping is an action. So he moved the goalposts. Well, I can't prove that he called us a racial slur, so I'm gonna try to say that calling us border hoppers is a racial slur. And not the same. Make sure that you guys bless that like button. It ain't nothing, man. It's King Supreme coming. Hey, man, sliding through heavy in the game. You did. Make sure that you bless the like button. It ain't nothing. Show some love and support to the show. I got to get up out of here, man. I think I done enough. Support the platform if you can. It's King Supreme. We in the game heavy.